Good morning, folks. I want to do this announcement about an upcoming space tomorrow, 4 p.m. with Jonathan Bahai, All Canada, the 51st state. And I'm going through in tremendous detail. I provide all of you all the numbers, all the economics, the cost analysis to taxpayers for the benefit of the federal government or not. And so far, picking just one of the five proposed country building projects clearly proves beyond any reasonable doubt Mark Carney's numbers don't add up. Not only do they not add up, it's to the contrary. We have a detailed country called Canada, a history of all our federal debt, just federal. I'm not going to get into the filth of the provinces. That's not what this is about. This is about Prime Minister Carney, everything he's telling you all on all his projects, many of which are Justin Trudeau's projects. And even before Justin Trudeau, Stephen Harper's projects. He's repackaging and selling you all the Green New Deal, massive socialism, and the same old with the government of Canada for its globalist masters. This is going to highlight these five projects. The first, I'm going to start at the end and work my way back. It's a lot of detail to go through. It will probably be a good hour of just going through the presentation, then a Q&A. I wish I could do all five in one shot, but it's not going to happen. It's just too much for people to absorb. Canadians struggle with reality. They struggle in the institution that's repackaged and sold to us over and over, absolutely at our detriment, absolutely at every generation's detriment. Mark Carney tells you these are nation-building projects. He gives you a definition on the Government of Canada propaganda website. They tell you it's for national security. They tell you it's for longevity. It's for extended economics going way into the future, uniting all of Canada. Well, so far, Project 1, nothing could be further from the truth. All I see and all I pull from the first project from Mark Carney is explosive debt placed upon all of you and all the children of tomorrow that will never be paid back as usual, as is everything your federal government does over and over again. They tell you all these things. They've really got a real good scheme and propaganda going that nobody accepted under Justin Trudeau, and certainly nobody accepted, and I mean absolutely nobody, massive resistance against Stephen Harper in 2014. But mysteriously and miraculously, if you apply enough propaganda, you pay the media enough, you pay for all your economists, you pay off all Indian chiefs involved, crown colonial chiefs in a crown colonial system, bought and paid for, no different than a liberal, conservative, NDP crown politician. These Indian chiefs are identical. Not for any benefit of the people of the reserves or their future or their land entitlements. It's always the same narrative. For the benefit of a wealthy few, a divine elite in a far-off land. And you can look at the companies involved. You can look at the history of them, nailed by many, many organizations, all the way up to including nailing them for their WEF ties, going up to 2015, and then that organization being destroyed. By who? The Government of Canada, the Canadian paid media and Canadian paid economists, who are all paid, bought and paid for by your crown government. I give you the numbers, and link of this title, I give you my work, one spreadsheet of the math involved here. But more than that, I give you a link to every single piece, including the big globalist company involved, the Democrat globalist company involved, and its imperial roots, more poison for America, more against, yes, the Trump administration, Trump's America, America first, all of that. Everything they stand against is everything being promoted by Mark Carney and his globalist friends. Who's going to stand to make the most money? Canadians, there is no logical economic sense to just this one project once the deep analysis is done. Any professional investor who looks at the work that I present to all of you, if they looked at the cost-benefit analysis, they would run. No private investor would get involved. And if they don't get involved, which they're not, why does your government have to? Because your government is erasing the economic case and presenting something that fills their individual pockets and the pockets of their friends, which has entirely been Canada's design since day one. They just get more bold, more embrazened, more empowered to get away with more and more as the Canadian people become more and more corrupted, as the paid media, the paid financial analysis, all at the beck and call of the government. We watched Trudeau transition from Harper, saying Harper's big mistake was not paying off the media, owning the media. That's what all successful dictators and autocrats do, and that's what's being done here. There is no, so far, one out of those 5 supposedly nation-building projects with definitions that we're going to go through in my analysis, and you tell me when it's all over, as we go through the Government of Canada's published statement on what the definition of a nation-building project is, and you tell me if this first project qualifies as a nation-building project, or is it completely the opposite, a nation-destroying project? We're going to get into all those terms. Housing affordability, cost of living, long-term economic prosperity for Canadians, financial relief for Canadians. You tell me in those definitions, when we go through this analysis of Project 1 of 5, you tell me if those hold water. If anything out of this project meets any of those Government of Canada published definitions. Statements by Mark Carney, our current Prime Minister, who claims that it's going to generate all this money, it's going to do so much for Canadians, all these projects, that they're going to tie Canada together and make your lives better. I don't see it. And no legitimate analyst in economics or GDP or people's cost of living are going to look at this and say, hey, yeah, this is a great investment. This is a great idea. If it was, these companies would be pursuing it on their own, and you'd have no shortage of private investment to achieve those goals. But again, the Government of Canada has a slush fund to kickstart the project, borrowed against Canadian taxpayers, because apparently the project couldn't get going without Canadian taxpayers creating it. This is the problem with socialism. If something doesn't make economic sense, you don't pursue it. If businesses did that, they would fail rapidly. It would never grow, never achieve. We're going to go through all of it in detail, one project at a time, tomorrow on X, 4 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Western Mountain Standard Time. Thank you, everybody. That's my video. Share, share, share. It's an introductory to a major presentation that's going to be one of 5. And you're going to see it for what it is. And it's important to share. You can look at all my work. You can look at all the evidence and documented evidence, publications by the government, by the companies involved, by NGOs who took those globalists on. And you tell me, because I have all the financials, I have all the records from the government, what funds, what money's allocated for where, who's involved, First Nations, globalists, Crown. You tell me as a Canadian taxpayer why this is a nation-building project, how they come up with that, how it benefits you at such a tremendous devaluation of you in the long run. And there is no long-run economic advantage here. And I don't see how it ties the whole country together except for devaluation of all Canadians equally. For the benefit of who? For the benefit of who? It certainly is not an argument for a benefit of any Canadians at all. That's my video. Share, share, share. Get it out there. Tune in tomorrow. You don't want to miss this part 1. And for you all on this video, in the link of the title, I give you all the work, all the evidence, undeniable, real numbers that any real economist or financial planner would easily be able to pull forward themselves. And there's no reason for any Canadian media not to be publishing this truth for all of you. The reason why they don't, and the reason why there's no economists, no financial analysts, is because they're bought and paid for. They're bought and paid to tell you to get along, go along, shut up, watch your housing explode in value, watch your food costs rise exponentially, watch your energy needs never be met, and the costs ever expanding to the point that Canadians will find themselves in serious poverty in a rather short order, long before 2050, long before their agendas are seen through. Canadians will know poverty. Again, that's my video. Share, share, share. Take the time to look at the link, this title, all of it. Go through it at your leisure. Be ready for tomorrow because I'm going to hit the ground running hard. We're going to go through all of it. And then you tell me, you share, you get that out there. Undeniable, factual, evidence-based on every single federal scenario ever in Canadian history upon you, the Canadian people. Over and over and over again. It never ends. And you're always left holding their bag. They get richer, you get poor. That's my video. Bye now.